This understory area of my garden, I think, is the most jungle looking part. Western sword fern, big ostrich ferns. Those aren't big, those are actually small. This Mahonia looks so much like a fern. It looks like a Chamaedoria in my opinion, a small leaf variety. That Podophyllum looks great. Heucheras are okay. Look at this sword fern. This thing's over 4 feet tall. I planted that a couple years ago, and it took a couple years to really get big, but it is just out of control now. Trachycarpus ninetale, which is finally growing. Took a little hit the first summer, only had that heat dome. But this is what I wanted to show you the most of all. Pteridium aquilinum. I planted a bunch of rhizomes a couple years ago. I didn't know which ones would do well and which ones would not. Some of them didn't make it. I probably had an 80% success rate. But this one back here, this is over 5 feet tall. That's at my eye level right there. So I'm 5'7", so that's like 5'3" or 4 or something. And it's not even opened up all the way. Look at that. So as that continues to open up, and the fern will continue to grow up a little bit more until it is fully open, I anticipate it will be as tall as me or taller. So I planted some really big rhizomes, and I thought they would get really big, and those ones didn't get that big. And I don't recall these being particularly big pieces of rhizome, but this thing's a monster. It's out of control. It's off the chain. Off the chain fern. I got chain ferns too. But that's awesome. So I'm gonna go ahead and say this. Pteridium aquilinum, the bracken fern, is the tree fern of the Pacific Northwest. It's the closest thing to a tree in terms of ferns that we've got. I've got videos of me walking underneath some last year. They were so tall I could walk underneath them without hitting my head. So they were probably 6 foot tall or better. So these are, let's look at the stalks here. Not huge, but that's pretty good size. These are deciduous. Man, I really wish they were evergreen. That would be super cool. But it's almost hard to get the whole thing in the camera here. And I'm holding the camera up above my head so you can see it a little better. When they're this stretched out, they become kind of etiolated and a little bit thin looking up on top. But there's 1, 2, there's another one. I've got 4 or 5 right here that are all really tall. That one's almost 5 foot. Beautiful fern.